ella me lo recordó y me lo dijo y, o sea, ya lo sé. Que ya,
What do you think about Canelo? Canelo is good.
Canelo Alvarez and Manny Pacquiao are reportedly joining forces in training camp, each preparing for what could be the defining moment of their careers. Canelo is gearing up to face the undefeated pound-for-pound king Terence Crawford, while Pacquiao is stepping back into the fire against the dangerous, younger champion Mario Barrios. Both men have enormous challenges ahead of them, so what better time to train together? Let's pull back the curtain and see what's really happening behind the scenes. Canelo versus Crawford is already being hailed as a potential fight of the century, and for good reason. You've got two undisputed champions, two elite technicians, and one colossal spotlight waiting in Saudi Arabia this September.
Fight in September between the two great fighters in our generation, Canelo Alvarez and Crawford.
This isn't just a blockbuster, it's a legacy fight. And what makes it even more intriguing, Canelo isn't preparing alone. Word is, he's training alongside none other than the legendary Manny Pacquiao.
Ella me lo recordó y me lo dijo y, o sea, ya lo sé.
That's right, the Filipino icon, a Hall of Famer, a multi-division world champion. Pacquiao is reportedly in camp with Canelo. It sounds like something straight out of a video game fantasy roster, but it's real. Sources close to both camps say the two legends have joined forces as they prepare for their respective challenges. Canelo, fresh off a dominant win over William Skull, now holds all four major belts at super middleweight WBA, WBC, WBO, and IBF.
Canelo Alvarez!
That win over Skull wasn't just about collecting another belt. It was a strategic victory that positioned Canelo perfectly for a high-stakes showdown with Crawford, especially with his multi-fight deal in Saudi Arabia. The win solidified his reign at 168 pounds, setting the stage for one of the most anticipated fights of this era. Meanwhile, Terence Crawford is taking an enormous risk, moving up to full weight classes to face Canelo. That leap is serious, especially against someone with Alvarez's strength, experience, and ring IQ, but Crawford is no ordinary fighter. He's one of the only boxers in history, alongside Usyk and Inoue, to become undisputed into divisions during the four-belt era. Still, jumping from 154 to 168? That's uncharted territory, the power, the pace, the endurance, all of it shifts. And this is where Pacquiao enters the picture in a beautifully poetic twist. He knows the struggle, he's made that climb himself, rising from flyweight to super welterweight, toppling legends along the way. If anyone understands what it takes to transcend weight classes and still dominate, it's Manny.
I just want to say this to the world. It's amazing how a fighter can come from, I think, 108 all the way to 154 and knock out all these guys. To me, it's amazing. I guess he's just blessed.
Pacquiao isn't just hanging around to offer wisdom, he's preparing for battle too. At 45 years old, he's set to face Mario Barrios, a young, explosive welterweight champion who's fast, motivated, and hungry for a career-defining win. The idea of Canelo and Pacquiao sharing a camp is electrifying. Just imagine the sparring, the strategy sessions, the exchange of wisdom between two of the most disciplined fighters of this generation. Canelo brings power, patience, and punishing body shots. Pacquiao? He still has the blinding speed, footwork, and chaotic angles that gave legends nightmares. Training side by side will only elevate them. Canelo is preparing for one of the slickest tacticians he's ever faced. Crawford is a master of adaptability, a switch hitter who breaks opponents down mentally and physically. So teaming up with Pacquiao isn't just interesting, it's smart. Iron sharpens iron, and when two legends collide in the gym, you can be sure something special is brewing, but that's not all. Canelo isn't just training with Manny, he's also spending time with Manny's son, Manny Pacquiao. That's -1 boxing royalty training with boxing's future. And Canelo, he's not just going through the motions. He's mentoring. Footage shows Canelo and Jamil shadowboxing together, the focus sharp and the respect mutual. At one point, Canelo even pulls Jamil aside to walk him through how to handle pressure when trapped on the ropes, a subtle but crucial skill that can determine the outcome of a fight. These moments show how far Canelo has come, not just as a fighter, but as a leader in the sport. He's passing down wisdom the same way greats once did for him.
Yeah.
Man, he's just, first off, his power. You know, he keeps guys, really scared of that power. And the way he moves, he's very slick in that.
When asked about Canelo, Pacquiao kept it short and respectful, calling him a good fighter. It was a simple answer, but coming from a man who's fought the best across 8 divisions, it carried weight.
Same in the rope. If you're right here, you can win here. Right here.
And it's not just Manny. Manny Pacquiao, his son, was even more direct with his admiration. He didn't hesitate to name Canelo as the #1 fighter right now, praising not just his strength, but the fear he instills in opponents.
From Canelo, man.
Yeah.
Canelo's #1 right now, in my opinion.
Yeah, you got #1 pound for pound. You got him #1.
Yeah, number one.
What do you?
Jamil broke it down further, saying it's not just about Canelo's physical power, it's how he moves, how he controls the ring. According to him, Canelo is the perfect blend of Mexican warrior grit and refined technical mastery. And honestly, that's not far off. Yes, Canelo has the power and the chin, but he's also added so many layers to his game over the years. His defense is sharper, his movement is smarter.
Manny, you were a smaller fighter fighting bigger guys. What advice do you give Crawford for fighting Canelo, a bigger guy?
Oh, my advice is make sure that he will focus on speed.
He wastes nothing, he sets traps, he dictates pace like a chess master. That kind of ring generalship doesn't go unnoticed, especially by a boxing family like the Pacquiaos. It makes you wonder, what exactly did they see in training that left such a strong impression? Was it his angles? His patience? His composure? Whatever it was, it clearly deepened their respect for him. And that brings us to the million-dollar question. What does Manny Pacquiao think about Crawford facing Canelo? When asked if he had any advice for Crawford, Pacquiao didn't say much. You could sense the hesitation. Maybe he saw something in Canelo, a tiny flaw, but if so, he wasn't sharing. All he said was if Crawford wants to stand a chance, he needs to invest in his speed.
Manny, you were a smaller fighter fighting bigger guys. What advice do you give Crawford for fighting Canelo, a bigger guy?
Oh, my advice is make sure that he will focus on speed.
That's vintage Pacquiao, coming from a man who built his legend on speed. That advice hits different. Speed has always been the great equalizer in boxing, especially when facing someone with the size and strength of Canelo. You can't stand in front of him, you've got to hit, move, and make him miss. And Crawford, he's got the tools, but hearing it from Pacquiao, who's done it against giants, adds a new level of meaning. So now, here we are with Canelo, the undisputed king at 168, preparing for war against a smaller, but unbelievably skilled technician in Crawford. And beside him, Pacquiao, the man who beat bigger fighters for a living, quietly passing on knowledge to his son, to Canelo, maybe even to the world. This isn't just about a fighter's training, it's a generational exchange. A torch being passed, a new legacy in the making. Whatever happens when Canelo and Crawford meet, one thing is certain: Canelo's camp is alive with knowledge, hunger, and mutual respect. And that kind of energy only means one thing: we're in for something unforgettable. But what do you think, fight fans? Drop your thoughts in the comments and don't forget to like and subscribe for more.